Hi, everybody. Sorry we was a few seconds late. We was having a discussion. You know how it
We were
is. We get
yapping.
together. Hi, Kim. Hi, Tina. Let's see. I know Kim's watching us. She probably can't type, but just want to tell her hi anyway. So far, that's all we got here. Let's wait and see if we get some more in.
Hi, Kim. Oh, okay. Much love to you. Feel better. Hi, Eli. Eli's chatting away in mine.
And let's see. Hang on. I talk for a second. I gotta do something real quick.
I'll share you out on Twitter. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that immensely. Yes, if you guys want to share, that'd be lovely. Hey, Tina.
All right, I'm back. No, I'm not mad at you, Eli. It's not. I don't want to have that discussion right now. Um, let's leave it at that. I'll say hi, Eli. How's that?
Hey, Dustin. How are you?
Hi, PPR. Is that's Dustin, right? Let me get
Yes.
his name right, Dustin. I don't. It takes me a few minutes to learn. Once I hear their name, like I have to think about it a couple times, or I may not remember it, you know, but I'll get it eventually. All right, we're going to talk about uh, uh, past lives and what we've been discussing lately and what we've had. Kind of like I had a vision of my past life, and it was in the 1600s. And come to find out, Tina that's in chat. Tina, you can come up if you want to. I don't know how to send you a link, but I mean, well, yeah, I do actually. If you want a link, I'll
I'm
send you
still
one.
in there, guys. I'm not up for typing. I'm sorry.
You're all right.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to type. You could talk.
You don't have time
Hey,
to talk.
Christy.
Hi, Christy. Uh, she's in the tub. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go that discussion.
Yeah, we can't be on chat and be in the bubbles too at the same time.
Anyway, Tina had pretty much the same type of vision. Like she's seen women walking. They're on a pebble walkway or road or whatever you want to call it. Street. I don't know what they called it back then, but anyway, that's why I've said before in past that I'm from the 1600s. Well, I may be before that. I don't know, but that's what I remember. Yeah, cobblestone, but it was like cobblestone street or road or whatever they call them. But anyway, we're all walking, and I could see all of us, and I remember I could see what I looked like, face wise, and stuff, and what how my hair was, and I could see how everybody's hair was, but their face was like blocked out. And at the time of hi Banshee, um, welcome in. And at the time that I had this vision or dream or whatever, it was in my dream. Really, I dreamed it, but it was like it was clear. It was like I was there, like I wasn't even asleep, and it was like I was watching myself. But I had these other ladies with me, and then other ladies because their hair was up, they had dresses on and stuff like I did, and but I couldn't see their faces. Well, we were going through a discussion, all of us, about some other stuff, and we was talking about this too. We've had the craziest last 4 days that are 4 or 5 that any of us could probably have. I mean, it's give us headaches and everything else. Made our ears ring, our eyeballs hurt. It's been crazy. But
So, Mary, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Christy says, oh my God, that's what happened here. Did you have sort of the same vision, Christy? I'd be curious to know.
Kim said same here.
Did you had that same kind of vision? See, interesting. It's just interesting to see how many people had that same kind of vision. And sorry, I know I keep looking down because I'm looking at my chat, and Mary's chat's up here, but if I want to type in my chat, so I'm looking in both spots, guys. I apologize. No vision, but the symptoms I got. Kim's been getting the same symptoms. Yeah.
A lot of people are opening up more lately,
I'm going for a
which
shower.
would cause
Bringing
the same
speaker with me.
symptoms.
Okay, Colleen. Yes, it's
So,
true.
so Christy, you had the same vision like that, or however you want to call it, dream, vision, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and Tina could see all of them clearer than I at the face. She's seen the faces, but I seen how many there was, and I knew there was at least 5 of us, but I believe there was 2 more. And then we got to figuring out. We started seeing who they were and who we thought they would be, and apparently it was right because from what Spirit tells us and Spirit guides and all that we've hit on it like it was supposed to be.
Right. She said she had a vision. She's been having visions of a little girl on a bridge, but it was very similar to the vision that you know about how you saw it and all that, Christy.
Huh. Well, that's
Now,
that.
go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Or do you think it was the 1600s or in that time frame? Did you tell, or did you know, or did you feel it, or know it, or however?
And then I was going to ask her. I'm just curious to know: was the girl doing something on the bridge, or was she just standing there? Sometimes they're skipping, they're running, they're playing. I don't know. She had a doll with her, something.
Or are you the little girl? Or did you know the little girl?
Right. Yeah, that's what we're getting at. 40. So your grandpa was in the vision also with the little girl on the bridge in the 40s? And that's why she's asking what was he trying to tell me. Pretty sure that she wants to write.
Well, sorry, I was swallowing.
No,
I remember seeing your grandpa, yes. Was he on a bridge? I didn't see, he didn't show me himself on a bridge. Because when I seen him, he was showing me himself as in like my third eye, okay? Like it's I have it in my head, he just showed me himself. He didn't show me where he was standing or if he was standing by a child or
Looking, standing over on the by. I think that's meant to my right bypass. So she was standing there looking over the bridge on the bypass.
on the to grandpa's. Looking, standing, looking over dark girl on to the on okay, I'm lost. Oh well, I don't understand. Can you explain that better? Are you saying that he was standing on the bridge and he was looking over the bridge?
No, the girl, just the girl was on the bridge. Grandpa
Okay,
was at
the girl was standing on the bridge.
the girl was standing on the bridge,
On the way to
looking
grandpa's.
over. I think she was a dark-haired girl. She was looking over on the bypass. I think that's what she tried to write, but
Yeah, only got half of it went in there.
he was at my door, right? The little girl she saw was about 5 on the bridge.
Papa was in the house. We go back and read it all again.
Well, I'm just gonna ask her one question. So,
Go ahead.
Christy, was this like you saw the girl on the bridge and then right after you had this vision of your grandpa, or is this two separate? Want to make sure you're not putting us all in and driving us all nuts. We'll just take it as the little girl Mary saw. Okay.
Uh, the little girl you saw was maybe 5, right? He was at my door. Mom said, ignore the door.
Hi, Sandra.
Because it's been a minute since I did that for her. So I remember her grandpa in it, but I don't remember, I don't remember every one that I do. So that's why hi, Sandra. He was little. Okay, Chris, let me ask you this. Do you feel like, because when he's talking about past life, do you feel like that was past life? Or do you feel like you was the little girl maybe? Or what? Trying to get what we're getting at here. Oh no. Well, that's kind of what I got too, Tina, but few minutes ago, but I was kind of waiting to see what she had to say, and she feels like it's that. Well, it can come to you in your dreams, but you could have said that out loud.
No, it's okay because you were talking with that, and Kim was in my chat, so I figured I'd just type. Well, I didn't type it. I put mute and did talk text. You know, because she said she didn't have visions, but she was having those same symptoms of like ears ringing. But sometimes I like think of something in my head, like, oh, I wonder if, you know, uh, the neighbor's ghost
Right,
needs something, and my ears will start ringing. Well, that probably then the neighbor's ghost needs something. It's kind of
right.
like
To tell
they're
you,
telling you you're on the right track of what you thought or what you said, because, and it's not that they can read your mind, it's that sometimes they put that thought into your head, and then when you acknowledge it, they give you a symptom to say, yeah, you're right, that you're on the right track or something.
right. Try and meditate, or he didn't tell me anything like I talked to her grandpa, but he showed me himself. But I mean, I told her what he wanted to tell her, but I didn't see a bridge. I didn't see a little girl. I didn't see none of that. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't there. It just I didn't see it. He didn't show it to me. So your ears ring all the time. Yeah, mine do, especially when they want to say something to me or want to talk to me or something like that. Man, they start ringing like crazy. Like they were ringing last night. Like it was something else. Yes, because it was the first story someone told me. The woman I know worked in an action adventure park for kids one night. A group of the youngsters scared. Got the stuff to check out later.
That could be Kim.
Yeah, Kim, that's pretty much what we come to the conclusion of last night. I mean,
All right, my that could be too, Kim, was that you were an empath, but usually these ringings is them like talking to you, or sometimes they're talking to each other and they just happen to be standing too close to me, and I'm like, if you're not telling, I can't hear you. So if you're talking to me, you're not, or if you're talking to each other, back up. Um, because they'll talk really close to you and you'll get that ringing, but they'll be talking to each other, and I'm like, you're standing too close to me because I don't hear you. So that means you're not talking to me. You got to stand back for a second, you know.
and
Um,
sometimes it could be, that like you'll have one ringing in your ear right after you have an epiphany about something,
right.
or you say, "Am I right about that?" and your ear starts ringing. It's them trying to tell you, yes, you're right. You're on the right path. You're where you're supposed to be. Keep going, or whatever. I mean, we've had that for the last 4 or 5 days. So I
Well,
mean,
I don't know, Colleen. You know what? My left ear has never rang, only my right. So I can't tell you about the left ear. Actually, they're always in my right ear, always. ringing in my right ear. I've had my left ear go like clogged, but never had like that same ringing feeling in my left ear ever. So I
Hi,
don't know.
Mama Cookie.
Hi,
Yeah,
Mama Cookie.
I think it's
I'm on the
different for everybody as to what happens when they're trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
I agree. Because mine is my right ear.
Yeah, if it's negative for me, I get a feeling I got like somebody sucker punched me.
And usually when I'm right, it's like I get this like gnawing gut feeling, like it's like I got butterflies in there flying around and carrying on, and then it's not only that, it's like I don't know, it's like an overwhelming feeling I get that just I just know. Out of bed, he was screaming and complaining of his arm. They couldn't. Sure. I gotta read up because I missed all of Shire, whatever he's talking about. Welcome, Melman Cookie. I think I said hello, but I'm saying it again in case I didn't. That's how you know, Banshee. It's because your earrings. It needs to go. 3 days you've been all night. Yeah, I understand that. Trust me, I do. I went to take a nap today, and the stuff that we had been discussing, I was thinking about it when I went to take the nap. Well, I didn't sleep very long, didn't sleep soundly at all because I believe I thought about the whole time the whole time I was sleeping. I wake up and it's still there. So it had to been something I really needed to discuss or learn, or I was on the right path in it anyway, or it wouldn't have been like that. And we was on the right path with it. Christina seems to be the smart one out of the bunch when it comes to figuring this stuff out. I don't know. We between all three of us, we've been figuring it out. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Some takes us longer than others, but others are faster.
All right.
But also, guys, it's like looking at stuff from a different way because sometimes you'll have this vision and you'll be so stuck that this is what it means, or you're looking at it from one way. Really try to look at it from all angles because sometimes it's not the place, but it's the action, or sometimes it's the place and has nothing to do with the action. So really just try to look at them in all from all different angles. Sometimes what they're trying to tell you is really hidden, so you have to think outside the box of your normal
And don't
thinking.
rush it because
Yeah,
rush,
every little thing could have a meaning all its own.
right. I mean, that's one thing I've learned the last 3 days. Don't rush it. Last four actually. It it could be so like if you're looking at say you're looking at a picture of something you took and or somebody shows you a picture or something or whatever. But there could be something in that picture that one object in that picture that could be really small and minute and it be what you need to know or it's something to do with what you need to find out or see. And unless you look at the whole picture, you know, you may miss something. So don't give up. Just keep going. And if you got to go back and look at things again and start all over, sometimes you have to do that. I've had to do that. I've had to start all over and go and see what I missed, and then go, and then I may get something out of this, or I may get something out of that I've already done, and I went back and looked again and said, oh well, I should have done this, or I see that, and that goes with that. It's not easy to figure things out, but you'll get there. I cleaned it. Oh, nothing. The white stage and let.
And I think in some ways you need to go with what your gut is telling you, because other people can perceive it differently.
Right. Each person's different. We're not going to get the same messages. We're not going to be identical with each other. Now, we can be really close, because I have come really, really close to having to stuff be the same with somebody else. That it's just crazy. But each thing, you're not going to have everything the same. You're going to have different stuff and different thought process on all of it. That's what this comes in at. We're not going to all be agree on everything, even though we're in the same field, and we all are paranormal, and we all have like our past life together and stuff. Doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything. It wasn't meant to be like that.
Oh, Mama Cookie. Yeah, your traits, especially if your spirit guide is one that has creative traits and they follow you throughout your past lives too, you will be creative in all your lives.
Exactly, Christy. Nobody knows everything, and there are no experts in this field.
I think we all carry over. I think we all carry over something into our next life.
I paint it black.
Hi, Samson. Hi, Painted Black. How are you? Samson, this is
Hi,
you're on my channel. I'm just streaming this um to my channel, but this live stream is not mine. It's my friend Mary Luna Eclipse Paranormal.
welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm on StreamYards. I'm looking at StreamYards thing. I don't know who's on who's, and it don't matter. Y'all are welcome to whoever. Thank you for being here on Christina's and
Oh,
mine.
sorry, guys.
Yes, I remember you.
And Mama Cookie, we could have had so many that we could probably never know how many, past lives we've had. Could have been all different things in all different past lives. Yeah.
Well, Samson, I'm sorry to hear that. You're more than welcome to be here with us.
Oh, of course. We're chatting today about past lives, so you're welcome to join if you have any information or if you've had any experiences. We'd be so happy to hear about them.
Painted Black wants to know if you'll give her a reading, I guess. Do you mean card reading? Is that what you're talking about, Painted Black?
Oh, yeah, Samson.
Hey,
Not only are
Derek.
Hi, Derek. How are you?
Hi, Derek.
Um, my grandparents and my parents, they're all in heaven, but they're
And my
looking down.
grandparents have passed.
Yeah.
Yep, mine are too. I don't have all of mine's gone too. My grandpa told me I was special. I thought, no. How a grandpa would say. Well, you are
Oh,
special. Everybody's special.
Sandra, do you read cards too? I think that's what she was talking about. Sandra reads her sometimes. Oh, that's lovely. We love card reading, Sandra. I do card readings on my channel on Wednesdays, Wednesday evenings. If you guys are into the hi everyone. If you guys are into card readings, we do that on Wednesdays. Christine and Sun Go Squad. Um, well, that's not good, Samson.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Right, Derek.
see. Oh Lord, Derek. If any man can be stuck on herself, it's Derek.
Well, that's a little better. Um, Candies, I guess. But probably maybe also try some meditation. It really does help. Or just some
It does.
daydreaming. Close your eyes and daydream about nice stuff. And, if you stay positive, positive follows positive usually. So,
That's not sure, Shire.
Huh. That's kind of
Interesting philosophy, though.
that's what I was going to say. It's interesting. Huh.
I wonder if that might be somewhere where twin souls come from.
Well, I've been doing some. I got a lot more to do, so I don't want to get into it. So I know the facts about it, but I'm looking into what each, like what the Native Americans believe in the afterlife, and
Thank you, Kim.
if we are reborn again, and then there'll be Christianity side of it, and then I'm looking into all of it, and then when I get that done, looking into everything, and I get all the information together, I'll do a video of it. But do any of you think that you have a past life, or that you come from a past life, or do you remember anything? There's a show on. Well, I watched it on Netflix of these children who remember how they died, and that they remember being born, the whole 9 yards. They remember it all, and the parents. I watched a couple of them where the parents had actually they started freaking
This
out.
is
They
Christina.
started, huh?
Oh, Christina said music is good for the soul, and it really is.
yeah, he
And we
says he likes to blast his boombox. And I said, well, that's good because music is really good for the soul.
And yes, I do. I have had past lives, I remember.
Well, you do remember now?
Oh, I
No.
do remember. I've told you about him before.
Oh yeah, you have him, Jeff. I stopped and think about it. I mean, I've been told so much lately. I, just, I need to start writing everybody's thing down so I got it all straight. Yeah,
I
it's
did,
all
I,
interesting,
I
man.
did get past time readings done. Oh, that's good, Colleen. Yeah, like Tina Sis did one on me because I wanted to see if um like my spirit guide was related to me in my past life, and maybe she's an ancestral spirit guide. Um, so yeah, so it's super interesting because she was related to me in the last life. So yeah.
Yeah, I've never had a formal reading done. I
I,
just know, like, the one I remember is being a high priestess to Isis in Egypt. And I was born in 67, so King, like, when King Tut was found and they did all the tours and stuff, I went to see it when it was on display, and I could actually read quite a bit of the hieroglyphs and stuff without having researched it or anything before.
well, there's stuff like in this lifetime that I have carried over from another lifetime. Had to have, and part of it is law. I know my family can tell you. I know stuff about law and the laws of stuff that I shouldn't know. I never did any research on it. I didn't go to school for that, but I know it. I mean, I just blurted out to them, they just look at me like, because when it comes to paperwork and stuff that they'd have to fill out or whatever this, or if they had to go to court or whatever, and I've had them call me and ask me, how you do this? How you do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? And then
And I wonder sometimes if I wasn't a healer in a past life, considering all the
well,
knowledge I seem to have.
it's like, well, when it comes to that too, like nursing, there's stuff I know in that I have never. That's when I first started. That I had never had any training in or anything, and I just knew. So I mean, I don't know. I think you carry stuff over that each life you have, and I think like our abilities that we have, I think they grow as we grow, as we go to life, but they come with us. I don't know how everybody else believes, but I believe it that way.
She's in Mary's, Christy. We're streaming on both channels, like, so
Nice.
there's full in both channels.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mama. It was so nice meeting you.
Hey, Black, you're talking about Carl, I think. He was here a while ago, but it's late where they're at, so they may be asleep. Carl may be
Oh,
asleep.
that's true. It is late where they are.
Yeah, like it's probably 2 o'clock in the morning where they're at.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. I know for a fact I have 3 past lives that I can remember. Oh, nice. And
But I
Derek, just for so everybody in the chat, I'm sorry, Mary, just for like everybody in the chat and stuff, because I think it comes to everybody differently. But it's good to know all the ways of how you see it. So did this come to you in a dream? Did you get a reading, a vision? I'm just curious. Because it's just interesting. Sorry, man. Hi, Christine. You know, and for anybody else who's had these believes in the past life and knows that they have one, how do they know that they have, like, what did you get a vision? Did the spirit
Well,
guide help you? Like, I'm just curious how you guys had, known about it. Did you get a reading?
I didn't get a reading. It was like I was there. It was almost like remote viewing, but I was asleep. I was standing there, and as I'm watching us walk down this path, down this road, cobblestone road, all of us in line, I could see myself, and I knew it was me. My features are different, but I know it's me. I 100% knew it was me.
You recognized the energy.
Right. And I'm like, what is this time frame? And I was sitting there and I was watching them as they walked, and I'm looking around, and I mean where they were at and stuff. I just knew that it was 16. I just knew it was 1600s. I can't pinpoint it. I want to say it was like 1640 something. That's where I pinpointed at, but I could be wrong on that. But I think it was like the mid 1600s. But I can see it just as plain as I'm sitting here looking at this screen.
No idea, Shire, but I personally don't think we can change the past. It's already happened.
Oh, right. I was just typing to him. There's different timelines.
Yeah.
So technically you could step on a timeline and see the future. But you really can't change things on the different timelines when you're physically in this timeline. So you can't change the past, you can't change the future. I mean, on the timeline. I guess you could change the future if you change the events of what you're doing now. But technically, while you're, viewing, it's more of a viewing thing on timeline. So I don't think we can change the past. I don't think we can change, the future on timelines and just by viewing.
I agree with that. But if you say like you go in into your future life and you have a vision of your future life, it could be that they're trying to tell you something too, to save you from something, or to get you to maybe get yourself back on your path you should be on.
Right.
I mean, you take everything with a grain of salt till you know for 100% sure that that's what you're supposed to know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anything. I mean, like we was talking earlier, it could be either the smallest thing, maybe what you're supposed to know, or what you're supposed to see, and you're supposed to carry that with whatever is going on. Like I'll tell you this, I had this vision, or it was like I was there, and I was talking to my grandson in the future, mind you, and he's grown. He's a young man. He's anywhere from 18 to 20. I don't remember exactly what that was, how old he was, but he was very well dressed, and you could tell that he had took care of himself and all that. But the problem with that is that I don't have any grandkids yet. So I knew, but he kept pushing me, telling me, he said, you got to go back. It's time for you to wake up. You got to go back. You can't wake up here, is what he told me basically. So I snapped back into my body and I woke up. So I talked to Danny, or I didn't talk to Danny. Uh, Christina
Hi,
did,
Tammy.
and oh yeah, hi Tammy. And he basically feels like that I hit a timeline, and I went on this timeline, and I went on down. I was basically traveling in my sleep. There's a word for it, name for it, but anyway, I went on this timeline and I went to the future. Well, maybe there's something in that I seen while I was there that I need to think about or change or whatever in this lifetime. I mean, I don't think there was, because I was just talking. I was just talking to my grandson, and there wasn't much around that I could see, that was there, but that I can remember anyway. Um, I just remember him vividly on what he looked like, and how he stood and everything, and then I knew that he was my youngest son's son, because he has his eyes, and all that. I knew that it was my grandson. I just knew it, and he knew who I was. And the thing is that he knew I had to get back before I woke up. That I had to snap back into my body before I woke up.
Hi,
So,
Tammy. Sorry, Mary.
in that standpoint, I mean, that's going into the future. So yeah, I think you can. I think it can happen, but I don't
Oh,
think you
that's cool, Derek.
there. Do what?
If a prediction is an event yet to happen, it's already occurred. Yeah, different timeline probably. For it to be seen, so if people from the future connect with the past selves, do we see future events like the future self can see past events?
Well, okay. I mean, I've been to the future, so I mean, I think there's time travelers. I think there's people who can do that.
Yeah,
There's people who can pop from one era to a different one. I mean, like the vision I had of us in the 1600s. I'm telling you, I felt like I was awake there. It was like I was sleepwalking, basically, I guess, but I was awake. I literally, it was so vivid and so real that I don't know how to explain it any different than that.
right.
It's all right, Tammy.
And yeah, and I guess that um like I said, there is different timelines, there's portals, there's all sorts of things that you could go in and out of by accident, not even know you went in and out of them. Um, and just things like you can walk by something and you go, oh, and take note of, let's say, this beautiful yellow flower in somebody's garden, on your way to work. And then you walk back and you look in that same garden and that flower is not yellow, it's purple. And you're like, oh my, I swore that was yellow. And then you come back the next day and the flower is yellow again, right? Probably because you had a vision of that flower being purple. Maybe she had purple flowers there in the past, or maybe she's going to put purple flowers there to replace the yellow one when it dies. You know, Sometimes it's just you don't even know that you went and came back so fast. It was just a crazy thing.
Or could be you just want it to be purple.
It could be I just wanted to be purple. Well, we will see the next year, what her flower is going to be. But it's things like that, like I. you're like, no, I swore that purple was that flower was yellow. And now you're standing there looking at it and you're like, this flower's purple. But then when you come back, it's yellow and you're like, how could that be? It could possibly be that you jumped the timeline, you've seen the past, you've seen the future. Uh,
Well, that's cool, Tammy.
it was a thing done by Neil from Nocturnal Nation. Oh, interesting, Kim.
Yancey, that's cool. Do you remember what you was doing? Were they all with water? Hi, Colt.
That's interesting. Hi, Cole. Mm.
Yeah, Derek.
I
Well,
call
you see these people on the, you know, they've been caught on video where it's like they just walk out of nowhere, like be on the sidewalk and just, bam, they're there.
there's been photos caught of people with cell phones like in the 30s
Yes.
and
Yeah.
earlier that there's no way they should have had cell phones.
Right.
Yeah, there's and I always think I'm like, is it possible I'm standing there on my phone one day and I'm walking and I'm not noticing what's around me and I just walk into time. Someone takes a photo of me. I walk back in my time and not even notice. Like, could it be that like that there's like a ley line that you step on, but there's timelines or time,
You just
you know,
made me remember something.
that you could just pop and then pop and not even realize,
You know how things come back to you when you hear somebody talk about something else, and the next thing you
Yeah,
know, you remember something that happened.
that's all right, Christine.
I was
Thanks for
driving
listening.
one night, and it was me and my cousin, and we was driving, and it's like we're talking. You're not paying attention to things. You're just driving on down the road, and you're talking and stuff. And it was almost like we drew through a time warp or something. It's like, or went through a portal, or however you want to look at that. Because we started looking around and we're like, where are we at? I mean, literally, we was doing this together, and we looked around. We didn't know where we was at. So then I said, we need to turn around and go back. So we went through this entire town, mind you, have no idea, and this town did not look like towns look like now. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't look like it was in this time frame when we was doing this. And she said, this is the strangest thing I've ever had. And I said, me too. So we went down, we drove down, it was through town, and we went around and we went through another street, and we come back around, and when we come back around, we went the way we come into town. We didn't go no further. Well, we had no idea what this town was, where it was at. Nothing. I mean, it was like, and we couldn't find it on the map. I don't remember the name of the town either. If I can remember the name of it, I'll tell you what it was. I'll have to think about that. That'd be a later time. But anyway, we left there and we went back the way we was coming, and it wasn't even 2 minutes. We popped back and we was in the town that we was headed to. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's what that's what you call it. I was gonna type it, but now I can just write it. That's what he called it, a time slip
Yeah.
with
Well,
Shires. Yeah,
sure.
like a time slip. And the time slip, like you just pass by in a certain time and then, you know, you're back again. But a lot of them, and he says there's a road in Liverpool that has more experiences than anywhere in the UK. Yeah, like a time slip. And maybe that's why it's not necessarily, well, we are time traveling in the past or in the future, but it's not like people think of time travel where you got to build a machine and get in it and all that. It's literally you're just stepped on a timeline, you know, and went in and out and back again, you know. You caught
Right.
the wave of that particular maybe like portal or whatever.
It was strange. I mean, and it was hard to tell anybody about that because they thought we was all crazy. I mean, I remember telling, I don't remember if we told our other cousins, I think, and one time, and they started laughing. They thought we was crazy. They said, "What you been drinking or smoking?" I said, "We ain't been doing neither one." And we wasn't. I mean, we hadn't been doing either one. But it
Well,
was. I remember going through this town, and I remember looking around the cars and stuff. They didn't look. They didn't look right. I mean, they wasn't in our timeline. In the timeline of that time, it was back. Oh, what year was that? It was in
yeah,
the 90s.
well, you know,
I think it was like 92, 91, 92, something like that.
Christy had a good point too. She called it like it was an imprint in time. And,
Or what could be. I don't know.
you know, we talk about like spirits and we talk about them being like they can either interact with us or like they say how limestone just makes it replay and they're not really there.
Uh-huh.
Could, what do you call that, Mary? It left my head. Residual.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was just
Okay.
making,
It came to my head now. Thank you. A residual haunting. Since it could play the spirit, could it play energy of a whole town, of a whole time? You know, that's an interesting
and
thought that we'd have to look
I
into
don't
because,
know. I'd have to look into that because you're right. I never thought about that because I didn't remember it till you was talking about timeline and jumping, going through portals, and
right,
it didn't. That's when it triggered it. So, I mean, see how it is when you don't remember something until, like I said, somebody's talking about something. Next thing you know, you remember something that happened in your life.
right.
Yeah. So, and that's been happening a lot lately. But if you're
Right,
welcome,
but and now this is just more stuff to look into. Can these things be just residual, recorded in time? We can't interact. It's just something we can pass by and look at. Is
right? We
it
didn't
maybe a vision that is something you need to know? Is it that you actually jumped a timeline? You know, wow, we don't even know.
well, we didn't try talking to anybody, and and the reason being is because it kind of freaked us out. We was freaked out.
Well, yeah, of course.
And I was like,
But
I
funny enough, did anybody acknowledge, wave to you, anything like that?
well, we had them look at us, but who knows if they were looking at us? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean, we was just driving by, so they could have just been looking at the street or down the street or at the building
Right.
across the street for all we knew.
Right.
But
They could have been looking right through you. Right.
right, it wasn't like they were looking at us to be looked because of something we
Right.
did.
It's not like they waved to you because that's what I like.
Right.
Hi.
I'm gonna throw another psych thing here.
What?
If we see people as spirits, what do they see us as? If we go back in this time loop thing, do they see us as ghosts and spirits?
Hmm.
And you got
Do they hear us as spirits?
Lord, look at all the stuff we
I've
research.
Yeah,
said
we'll
it
have.
before on the spirit box. How do we know what time we're talking to?
Well,
It could be
that's true.
somebody in the future. It could be somebody in the past.
Well, the spirits have all different times, so I'm assuming they could come talk on the spirit box no matter what time they're from. I would
Yeah,
Right.
think. You think?
yeah. Like I've had spirits tell me that what I was doing on the spirit box was evil. But if you think about it, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, they all thought that it was witchcraft.
Right. Well,
They
I had
still,
someone that I crossed over actually, and it's funny because they still crossed over,
and
basically, say, "Oh, you're a witch, you do black magic." I'm like, "No, I lit a candle so you could get energy so you could cross over." And they
Uh
did
huh.
cross over, but it's funny what they think of you because they passed away, like you said, 1600s, 1700s, even,
and even to this day, they still.
1800s, they weren't thrilled with any of this. So,
Hmm.
um,
I mean,
for them, yeah, they don't know what we're doing. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just helping you cross over. Hey, you don't have to go. You could go somewhere else.
well, I told the story about the church I went to, and that they believed that I was afterwards that I was a witch. So yeah, I mean, hi Carl, welcome back
Hi,
in.
Carl.
Um,
Hi, Carl.
uh, anyway, so even now they believe that and I'm not saying all church people believe that, they don't, but I'm just saying there is people who believe that what we believe is all that we're all sinners and that we're all Satanists and the whole 9 yards of that. You know what I mean? So it's in every lifetime. There's somebody who's not going to believe and who's going to think you're doing wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
What Kim put? I'm
She
trying to read
said
chat.
she said that she heard that spirits see us like we see them.
Yes and
So,
no.
you know,
Uh,
but I think it's all in perception because even when you pass away, you pass away with your beliefs and your thoughts. Yeah. You
Hmm.
know, still your
And your
spirit.
memories.
Yeah. So if you believe that, nah, I'm a spirit, I can't talk to real live people, maybe you would see us then as spirits because you only believe that you're talking to spirits, and it could be opposite, like, no, I can only talk to, people, we don't know. People believe so much stuff and it carries over with them. If you believe there's a heaven, a hell, and this and you did something wrong, you might not want to cross over because you believe, oh no, I'm gonna go to hell because that's what you believe.
Yeah, that's what you've been taught.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. It's different. It can be different for everybody, but it was kind of strange that me and her was together at the same time doing this and driving along. And next thing you know, we're just talking. Next thing you know, we're somewhere we don't even know.
Yeah.
It was just like you said. I mean, it's something to think about. Maybe it was that it could have been the town that we went to, but the buildings didn't look. I don't know. You know how buildings, like they reface them or they just do upgrade to them or whatever in the town you're at. In towns
Right.
they keep the old buildings and stuff. Well, the town that we went back to that wasn't even 2 minutes to hit it after we left that one, they didn't look the same as the one that, you know what I mean? They
Right.
looked, I mean, so I would think if it was that close to the one that it would be if it was like a residual or something, unless they tore the entire town down and started over. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, not only always do they reface buildings, don't we always wish. But a lot of times, I mean, we don't know that.
It wasn't even laid out the same.
Right.
So I
But
mean,
let me ask you something. You were in the town, you drove through a different town, right? You
right.
went out of that town.
Well,
Then you went into a next town, yeah?
here no,
Maybe
we didn't drive all the way. When we drove through the town that I say that was magically appeared there, that was not in our timeline. Like when we drove through town and around. What we did is we turned down at the end of it and went around this other street and come back down and then come back over to the main street that we was on to start with. And we went back the way we come. And when we went back the way we come, it wasn't even 2 minutes, we hit the town that we was looking for. Now, why didn't we go through that town before we hit that one?
right. Well, what I was saying is maybe that. So you said it didn't look like the town that you were in. However, it could be that that place is totally gone now. Like it was maybe originally it was grass and stuff, and then they built that town, and then they took that town out because how long did you drive through it? It was a street, maybe just one little main street. They took it out, and maybe that's all residential houses now. We don't know, you know, because you only drove the whole entire town. It was a block, yeah.
Well, no, we went through the
Or
whole street because we couldn't believe what we was looking at. I mean, we was kind of in shock. And then and then we turned and we went around and come back down to where we pretty much where we started come into town at, and we
yeah,
turned and went back out of town the way we come. So that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how come we didn't go through the town that we was trying to get to.
right.
Why didn't we see it to start with? And we ended up in this town unless there was something there that we needed to know. I mean, that could be. I never thought. I mean, I didn't think about that till just now. Huh. I don't know.
That's
It
true.
was just strange.
Yeah, that's true, Derek. Maybe that could be true. Like Derek, like maybe that's what Kim was trying to explain. Like Derek said, well, say there's soldiers, on the battlefield, right?
Right.
When they see us, they probably see us as if we were in their timeline, not necessarily like them, but in their timeline because that's all they know. So let's say the soldier was from the early 1920s. When they see us, we'd probably look like somebody that belonged in the 1920s.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that could be possible. That sounds
That's
like,
possible. I ain't saying it's not, but um,
oh no, I didn't say that it wasn't possibly. I don't know. I don't know. I never asked them actually. I never asked my
oh,
friend.
I
Hey,
mean,
what do I
something.
look like to you? I never asked.
I don't think into a different dimension. That's what I kind of wonder too, Tina. I really don't. I really don't know. I mean,
Still chatting with the girls.
by the fact that what I haven't been able to figure out is how we didn't see the town that we was going to, and we ended up in a town that we wasn't expecting, and then went back the way we was going, and we ended up in the town we wanted. Now, if I passed it because I went back the way I was coming, if I went back the way I was coming to start with and I hit that town, why didn't I hit it when I was going to it? That's what I can't figure out about it. And we never could figure it out, and we just give up on trying. And I didn't even remember it till Christine brought it out.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carl. We'll be praying for you.
Yeah, he's been having a time of it. He's told us about it. Are you feeling any better, Carl? Tell us about that when we was on the last week. Could the cold that surrounds you be looking like the spirits from that time period? Uh, I don't know. That's another good question. I don't know. I don't know if the cold can do it or not, but I do know that there is such thing as residual hauntings because I've seen it.
Right.
I've watched videos of it. I've seen it. Uh, I would think that residual is like take the battlefields and stuff like Derek was talking about, like Misty's talked about before and stuff we've been to. You know, if you think about it, there was tragic there. There was death there. There was massive casualties. There
Mhm.
was pain and suffering there. Uh, it makes you wonder if that's not what causes it to happen. You know, causes it to keep replaying
Yeah,
itself or time loop, time loop, not
Mary,
loop. What?
Mary, I don't want to interrupt, but I just wanted to say goodnight to everybody. I got to go for a bit. I've got to make a phone call.
All right. Much love.
Much love to you guys too.
See you later, Misty.
I
Mm.
anyway. I mean, it's a possibility. I don't really know. That's stuff that we. It's a never-ending learning process in the paranormal.
I'm
You
telling you.
never you're never going to learn it all. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And we can teach you guys stuff and talk about stuff and try to do the best we can. And what we have learned and what we have researched and been through ourselves, that for that matter, because of what I was just talking about, I went through that myself. But we can do that. But we're learning too. Like when we do the research for stuff, you wouldn't believe what we've been researching. And it's like you said, it's not always what you see. There is something in it that you're supposed to learn, but it may not be what you're looking at. It may be something minute as, like I said before, a statue in the corner or something sitting on a bale of
Right.
hay or writing on a post or anything like that. Take an
Right.
example of what somebody Christina has seen before, but
Right. And like I said, like well, I'll give you the example of my reoccurring dream. I went to this barn. I was 12. I wouldn't go into the barn because I was like, oh, I told my mother, no, I don't want to go in there. I've been there before, and it's a weird feeling. And she's like, oh, that's just deja vu. Come on. And I'm like, nah. And I stayed outside and I sat on this, um, it was a tree stump. And next to me was a little boy playing. And my mother's like, all right, stay right here. I'm going to go. She wanted to go in the barn. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And she went in the barn and, she came back and we went home. And then after that, I was 12. I kept having this reoccurring dream that it was me going into the barn. I know it was me because I was seeing through my eyes. And I pushed open the barn door and on like one of the posts in the barn, there was a carving, like, how somebody carves like something into wood, like with a knife or something. So it was letters. I don't know what it was. A picture. I don't know. So I wanted to go see what it was. And every time I would get up to it, there'd be a noise behind me, and I'd spin around and I'd wake up. Well, so you would figure like it has something to do with the barn. It has something to do with the noise. It has something to do with the words. I mean, could be anything, right? by the time
Right.
you would figure it out, like what, but the thing that they were trying to tell me was, hey, you were having a feeling that was paranormal, wasn't a feeling you were used to. Instead of going with it, you were like, no, thanks. And you stayed outside the barn. Now in your dream, you're trying to go see that you can't see it because you didn't go, So they were trying to tell you, hey, so it wasn't so much anything to do with the barn, anything to do with the words. It had to do with the fact of spiritually, um, I guess should have like opened up then and went into the barn and had, but I did it. So I kind of, they're like, okay, well, that's her decision. She doesn't want to see anything now. But now in my dream, I'm trying to see it. They're like, no, you can't have it both ways. You either wanted to go or you did it. So it was kind of like it was trying to tell me like, no, you have to decide. You can't have it both ways. You're either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. But how hard would it have been? And I had that dream from the age of 12 to 19. Couldn't figure it out. I swore it was the words on the wall. I swore it was everything else. The noise. Never once thought for once they're just trying to tell you, oh, well, when you're ready, you'll see it because you're not now, because you didn't want to, Who would have thought that? But so that's why I say, guys, you have to like really think outside the box sometimes when you get these visions, because it's really hard to know what they're trying to explain to you, Um, yeah. Wait, I have to go back because I missed what everybody was saying.
It's all right. Yeah, well, I was listening. Carl just tell me what's going on with him.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to the chat to look. That's what I was saying.
Tina put like a misspelled word, right? She misspelled a word yesterday, and the word she spelled had to do with part of what we was looking up
Right.
at the time, or what we needed to look up at the time to get to where we was at. It was a long process, let me tell you, to get to where we needed to be at, but we did it. But we're still not done with that side of it. It was from the 1600s where the Native Americans in, I want to say Virginia, am I right?
Yeah.
Was it Virginia? Yes. And then it was like for Virginia and up in there, and where they all started, and then when they broke off into separate tribes and all that, but they had one chief that Pocahontas' father and all that. It was, so we started out there, but anyway, we wasn't even talking about Native Americans. And she popped, and it just popped, it just wrote on itself to the message to us, Eastern Virginia, yeah. And it just wrote on there. Next thing you know, it was something we needed to know. So it's either spirit guides telling us that, typing it in for us, or it was the spirits doing it. We don't know, but it can happen. It can come from anywhere. If they want you to know, or spirit wants you to know, your spirit guide wants you to know, or if the universe wants you to know,
Right.
you'll figure it out. It may take you a minute, but you'll get it figured out. They'll keep sending you clues till you get it. Believe me. It's about 5 hours of typing last night to get to where we're at today.
Yes, it was.
I mean, it was crazy. My finger was wore out time I got done typing last night. Man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
You're going to a very old graveyard in a month or so. I am. I hope I'm not going because it's me.
No. My
Tell me
uncle's
more. Tell me more,
daughter,
Carl. What's coming to you?
end of life care. Oh, my mother went to the end of life care. That's just well, my mother didn't drink, but she did smoke. But you know, she had cancer in her ovary, and they did surgery, and it spread. Ta-ding! And once they open you up, I don't know, the cancer gets air and it goes all over. So they're like, "Oh, we got it," and then they did a scan, and it was like almost all over. And so they said, "Okay, we'll do chemo." Um, and they were doing chemo, and then, of course, my mother was like 1 in a trillion. I don't know what they said. Where during the chemo, it was spreading more. It didn't stop. Usually, either goes down a little or it stays the same. Hers was growing during the the chemo, so she said, "No, I'm not gonna do it anymore." So they said, "All right, well, you gotta go," because then it went into like her neck and everything. She became like mostly paralyzed from her neck down. She could move her fingers a little, and she could move her head, but she couldn't like move her legs or anything. So they sent her to the end of life care there, and then it like went to her brain, and she was having like you know saying nutty stuff. But yeah, it's crazy how that happens. You know, I found out who her 12th time grandson is Edward Norton. Who are we talking about now? Oh, she said check your message. I don't know who the 12th grandson. I am gonna use the bathroom really quick, Mary. So just keep it going.
You're going to use what?
The ladies' room.
Oh, okay. Check your messages, okay? Pocahontas' grandson. Mary, you're going to a very old graveyard. Uncle just gone. Sorry to hear that, Shire, about your uncle. Carl, I know exactly where you're talking about. It probably won't be in the next month or so, but yeah, I'm going. Do you see anything else about that? I hate that, Shire. I mean, I started doing my family tree, right? Because of all this that's going on and all that. Because I can tell you guys, me and Christina have discovered that we are actually cousins somewhere down the line. Uh, we're either third or fourth cousins. We don't know yet. We don't know exactly yet, but we are somewhere in there. My aunt, which is my dad's sister, had a son that she gave up for adoption. Okay, he ended up in Christina's family, and he was her dad's cousin. Let me get this right. He was
Yes,
her
he
dad's
was my dad's first cousin.
first cousin, which would make it Christina's second cousin. Christina will be second cousin, and because she was the second cousin to him, and he would have been, let's see, my first cousin. and then I would be her third cousin, I think. She's the second or third. We're stuck. We don't know which one we are, but we are there in there somewhere. I don't know
Yes,
where.
we are related.
We just discovered this in the last 2, 3 days. That's when
Yeah,
I said that a lot's went on in the last 4 days. Trust me, we've had a lot go on in the last 3 or 4 days.
yeah,
So between the spirits and between learning stuff and between doing video and between doing, it's crazy how it's all went down. Period.
yep. And then, you know, and just Danny happened to mention on the off chance, like, oh yeah, I saw you on the timeline and you were this. And now I was searching that. And then my sister came over and said, oh, I have this kind of spirit guide. And I'm like, really? Let me research that. And then, like, you know, so
It's
freaking weird, you know?
crazy.
And, but it's just a lot of information taken all at once. And, you know, we, I know this is my case, but I'm pretty sure it's Mary's too. I'll forget. So I got to do it right away. And then once I read a little of it, at least then I'll remember it. And then I can go back and say, yeah, I have to go back and look at that or whatever. But I have to do the initial little researching, you
I
know?
have that notebook in there. It's got paper on it. It's underneath that. Yeah, I'm getting some paper. I gotta write this down because Carl's usually dead up on right. Whatever when he gets a vision or talk, when they show him stuff, he's usually, it's crazy how right he is. I mean, he's usually, well, I guess we are too, though. Stop and think about it. So let me write this down because
Oh, Tina.
I don't want to miss anything.
No, Tina. Her aunt's son, her aunt's son, so Mary's first cousin, her aunt's son is my father's first cousin. So it was Mary's first cousin and it was my father's first cousin. Yeah. That's it. That's all.
And your dad is Christina's dad.
Can't get into the aunt and uncle part. We
See,
can't even
you know,
figure out the
hang
cousin part.
on a minute. So, Mary, that means your aunt and your dad is Christina's dad's uncle. Well,
Oh, Ghostshire, that's so funny.
wait a minute. It depends on whose side it was on, doesn't it? It depends on whoever fathered that child. Whoever the father was of him.
Right. I think
Because
my baby.
she gave him up for adoption.
Right, that's what happened. So Mary's aunt had a baby. So it was Mary's father's sister had a baby. Gave that baby away for up for adoption.
Right.
He was adopted by my family and became my father's first cousin. So yeah.
Shire, I said the same damn thing yesterday. Exact same thing you just said.
Who knows? Well, we're all related. Well, they say we're all related by the universe itself because we all have a part of the universe in us, which makes us all family to begin with. But relations, who knows? There's a reason why we all came across each other. It wasn't a mistake, you know. Everyone comes into your life for a reason. Most people believe that, whether they're here for a day or here forever. There's always a reason. So there's definitely a reason why we all met.
Apologize for chocolate airplanes. You're fine.
Hmm. I think Kim, I was gonna say, I think my baby said third cousins. Danny said fourth or fifth. I'm like, how could that be fourth or fifth? Either way,
Well,
we're some
I,
kind of cousins.
right, which makes his mom one aunt. What? Okay, his mom is my aunt.
Yeah.
But we don't know who his father was. If the father was related to Christina, or if I'm related blood wise to Christina, I guess I would have to be, wouldn't I? For us to be cousins.
Well, yeah,
Unless it,
because
well, it could be
what
by
happened
marriage.
is, so he was adopted by my family, right?
Right. And
He had
it could be by marriage, yeah.
by marriage, even by marriage, he
Right.
he had children in my family that
Right.
intertwined our families, regardless whether he was adopted or not, or I don't know, um, makes us family, you know.
Okay. Believed to be an accident, but was not. Okay, got that. Okay, Carl, I'm waiting on the name. Somebody that means she got me all confused.
Yeah, that's okay.
We just know we're related. That's all we know.
Yeah, that's how we know.
Well, it might be
Intertwined in the big family tree
regardless, we're
leaf
spiritual
somewhere.
sisters. We're spiritual sisters, so then if we're cousins in life, then we're just cousins, but
Yeah,
we're family regardless.
that's right.
Sandra, I don't know that he'll answer that.
I don't know if he can. Like, usually they don't tell you, but
Right. And if he did know, I don't know that he would tell her.
oh, Sandra, I can only see illness, etc. If a person is a life FaceTime. I don't get any bad vibes or flashes of the name. Huh.
So
Well, that's good.
I thought you was gonna tell me a name. You're not telling me a name. You want me to tell you a name? Is that what you're saying? Oh, the spirit box will give me a name and address to check out. Is that what you're trying to say? Take a spirit box will give you a name and address to check out. I thought he meant he was giving me a name and address to check out. What?
You're welcome, Sandra. No, I know. I've asked them, like, because my grandmother's 95, Sandra, and I came here to, be able to be closer to family and her, God forbid anything. And I'm looking to then, when she passes away, relocate, right? So I said, no, nothing bad. I love my grandmother, right? So I was like, oh, but like I said, she's 95. So she'll be 96 in August. So I was like, oh, can you give me an idea? you know? And the spirits were like, yeah, yeah. September. They told me this though.
Oh, well,
93 I asked because she broke her hip and all this stuff. So I said, oh, is she gonna take a trip home? 93. They said, yeah, yeah, September, right? So I was asking that. It's been 4 Septembers. Grandma's still here. So they just told me that to shut me up because they can't tell you. Really? They really can't tell you. That's just from my experience, you know. I used to wind up someone I worked with that we were related, and it turned out we share the same great great grandmother. So distant cousins. There you go. Wow, she's been blessed. When I'm
Well,
out or
you know,
people, if they are very ill, I see a dark gray shimmer around them. Oh, illnesses. Yes, Carl.
I see some stuff too, Carl, when it comes to that. Like I was out one night. I think I told you guys about this story. Um, it's happened a few times. It's hard to say anything to them. Like I couldn't, no way I could go up and tell this guy he was going to have a heart attack. That then I was told that he was going to have a heart attack in the next couple of weeks, within the next couple of weeks, and he did, and that he had a bad heart, and I could see the color around him wasn't good, and but he ended up being okay. He had open heart surgery. Like I don't know, it was like 2 weeks or like 2 weeks after that, somewhere in there, because I went back to where we was at, and the lady that I said something to her about, I said, how do you tell somebody that? I said, you just can't walk up and tell somebody, they'll think you're crazy, you know? And,
Well, yeah, the only thing you could go up to them and say is pretend like say, "Oh, you know, my father kind of had this tinge to his coloring as you do. I might want to go, you might want to go really quick and see a heart doctor." And then I'd walk away.
well, I thought about saying something to him. And I went to the bartender because she knew him.
Mm,
And I told her
right,
because I knew her.
right.
And she's like, oh, you have visions and stuff? I said, well, it's not really like a vision. I said, it's like a feeling I get. And it's just, I said,
It's
something's telling me.
intuition. That's what my aunt calls it.
Right. I said,
Intuition.
something's telling me this is what's going to happen. And sure enough, and I went back in there. And it was like 3 weeks later, I went back in. There was a bar, is where it was. And I went back in there, and she runs up to me. She said, "You're not gonna." She grabs me by both arms. She said, "You're not gonna believe this." I said, "What?" And she said, "He did have a heart attack, like you said exactly." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry." I said, "Is he okay?" I said, "Because that I can't see." I said, "That I'm not showed." And she said, "Yeah, he's okay. He had open heart surgery and stuff." She said, "I told him what you said." But I didn't see him after that because it wasn't long. The bar closed, and they didn't open it. Somebody had sold it. But anyway, yeah, it happens like that. I mean, but I see people like that sometimes. If I usually put a shield up anymore because you pick up so much when you're out anywhere. I do. This ain't gonna know the past life, but it's still paranormal,
Right.
regardless.
Well, here's something funny. Just, to throw out there about past lives. So, so someone said, "Oh, I saw you on the timeline. You were a Duchess of York, right?" And I said,
Right?
"Oh." So I researched Duchess of York and I read their stories, right? And all of them had like horrible stories, like not nice lives, basically.
Right.
Um, they weren't like, "Oh, you think of a duchess, oh, they have this great life. They married this, Dutch or prince or what." Yeah, it all sucked. So, do you think do you think you're destined in every life you have to have the same kind of sucky life? Basically,
Oh, Lord.
like, do you think like, well, your energy, it's just like, okay, it's set to, have the same trials and tribulations over and over again.
It's all right. It's not too much TMI, Painted Black. As far as the numbers for your liver, that's not great. I'll tell you that. That's kind of high. Have you been checked for uh, any liver diseases or anything? For it to be that high, you probably need to be. Been there, done that. I had hepatitis C, and I went through the treatments, and where I got it was healthcare. It wasn't from drug use or anything like that. Because people run to that first, but it wasn't from that. I worked in healthcare, and I got stuck by a needle by accident, and I ended up. Anyway, that's what they think it was, because I did get stuck with the needle, but I also had surgery about the time just before they started checking the blood for hepatitis C. I had blood transfusion just right in that timeline anyway. So they don't know if it's from the surgery or from the finger stick. So they can't pinpoint it because it was years back. So anyway, I went through the treatments for it, and I don't have it no more. But I'm just saying, mine was running 880, and but yours is six something, so it's high enough to be checked. I mean, that could be what's causing your kidney problems to be off, because your liver puts out. This is not a health show, but I'm just going to tell you what I know. Your liver puts out ammonia whenever your liver enzymes are up. I mean, you can look online. You can find this online. So that could be what's wrong with your urine. Does your urine smell? Does it? I'm sorry, everybody. This is TMI. Does it cause you other issues like itching or anything like that? If it's what's doing it, it could be that. So you might want to have it checked. Have them check that. Don't let them wait, because mine waited for years before they did anything about it.
Oh,
And
Shire, yeah, well, you could have lived there in a past life. You'll have to check it out.
they waited, and I ended up having cirrhosis of the liver now. So I have stage 2 cirrhosis, the beginning of it. Now it has stopped, and I don't drink, never have drank. I mean, once in a while I'd have one, but that's once in a while. I mean, it ain't like I drink every day or even once a week for that matter, or a month or whatever. But anyway, I'm trying to say is that, it's worth checking out. Yeah, well, that is protein, but also she can have a high ammonia level. You're welcome.
Aw, poor Sandra. Oh, if we know about it, we talk about it. That's us
Right?
here. We're big mouth.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is that, I mean, if I can help somebody, I'm going to help them.
Right, of
And
course. That's what I said.
right, I
If we
mean,
know about it, we're going to talk about it.
I lived it. So, I mean, trust me when I say I lived it. I lived it. I went through the treatments. I was sick for. It was expensive on my insurance. Thank God I had insurance to cover it, but it was not cheap. Let me tell you. And it took me down, run me down, but I come through it. And the treatments are easier now. They say what you take now is 10 times easier than what I took. What I took was a form of interferon, and it kicked my rear end, let me tell you.
Maybe that's to tell you, Shire, you're drinking too much tea.
I mean, yeah.
No, Shire.
But no, that wasn't the reason.
He said Earl Grey tea. I said maybe that means you're drinking too much. Earl Grey tea.
They're over.
Oh, you didn't know what caused it. Yeah, yeah. Well, back in the day, they didn't check for those stuff. A lot of it had to do with you went to the doctor and they gave you a shot and you got it. You know.
Well, I tell you how we found it. I had stomach surgery in 92 to lose weight, right? They think that it's a possibility I got it then because I had to have a blood transfusion. Because when they opened me up and they went in, my gallbladder had rotted. I mean, this is TMI, but it's the truth. It had rotted and went all over top of my other organs. And naturally, they had to clean me out, clean me up. And then they had to take biopsies of my other organs. They biopsied my liver, a couple other things. I can't remember exactly, but my stomach and something else. But anyway, they wasn't sure that it didn't cause the others to start diseasing too. So I was lucky on that standpoint. It come back okay. But they had to go out and ask my mother if it was okay to give me blood because they nicked my spleen. Plus, they were going to have to give it to me because I happened to do the biopsies and stuff and all that. So she said, yes, fine, do whatever you got to do. And she had to give permission for them to basically clean me up because they were doing the one surgery, and that's the only permission I give them to do. Well, they ended up doing two surgeries basically in one. And so needless to say, we don't know if I got it then or if I got it when I was working in healthcare a few years later. Well, I got pregnant like a year and a half later, and after that surgery, and I had just gotten stuck not too long before that. So they don't know which one it was. Now, I have my doctors believe that it come from the surgery. I don't know for sure, but we can't be 100% sure on any of it. But anyway, I got sick and wasn't feeling well, and I went in the hospital, and he thought it was because I had lost 20 pounds in a week, and I had. And come to find out, they did some blood work, and he come back. First, he tells me that I'm basically dying because they didn't know much about hepatitis back then. They knew some, it was back in 94. They knew, or 93. They knew some of it, but they didn't know all of it. But he come back and said I had D. There is a hepatitis D. And then he comes back and says, no, he thinks it's B. They think it's B. And they come back and they tested it like 4 times. Well, come to find out it was C. And he says, you're going to be all right. He said, it's not active right now, blah, 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 blah. Well, every so often I'd have to go get my enzymes checked. Well, they went up, and I was 50 years old. Well, I turned 50 on December 9th. And I went into the doctor on my birthday, and that's when he told me that they thought I had to have aneurysm surgery then, but I had taken, and I was supposed to take the treatments for the hepatitis. Anyway, they found out that in blood work that I needed to have this treatments done because my enzymes were staying up, and they were up in that range where yours was at, like in the 600s to 800s. They even went to it was close to 1,000, and so the time they got the medicine to go through and stuff was like 15 minutes, or not 15 minutes, but it was about 6 months. But 6 months later, I ended up taking the medicine. It took a while to get it to go through the insurance, get them to pay for it, because the one pill that I took was $1,023 a piece, and I had to take one a day. So you're looking at $30,000 a month for one prescription, and I had to take it for 12 weeks. So that was a lot of money. And then the other pill that I had to take was and I had to take it 4 times a day, was $500 and some a pill, and I had to take it 4 times a day. So luckily my insurance paid for it, the supplemental paid for the rest, and I ended up having like a $5 copay to $8 copay, something like that. But it got rid of it. But it was hell getting rid of it, let me tell you. But it's worth it. They say it's easier now. I got a friend that went through it, and she took the one that's out now, and she said it was a breeze pretty much compared to what I went through. It was easy. So if that's what it is, and you get a chance to take it, take it. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm just saying it's my opinion. All right, I'm done telling you my life stories. I will read the chat. I did have a blood transfusion in 2016. Yeah. Well, I don't know. 2016, they were checking it by then. I mean, they were pretty, because they started checking the blood. If you look back, you'll probably see when they started checking it for hepatitis, all the hepatitises, I guess. It's back in the early 1992, 91.
Well, yeah, because I think they checked. I had my daughter in 1998, and I know they checked me for that, when I got the blood work, but to see if I had it and I could pass the baby. And I know in 2005 they wanted to give the kids the hepatitis shots when they were born, and I had a big heart attack. I'm like, you're gonna give my kid hepatitis, I'll kill you. It was a whole big thing. So I knew they were doing it then, in those years,
Well, they didn't know. It's like back when we found out that I had it. I mean, they didn't know that much about it, because they were like, we got to check everybody in your house. Everybody has to be checked. Yeah. That's how scary. I mean, they thought at that time that they could catch it, blah, blah, blah. Well, come to find out, hepatitis C, now this is the only one I'm talking about. Let me clarify this, is hepatitis C. There's like a minute chance that you can get it through sex, because it is blood-only contact. You can't get it by kissing somebody, nothing like that. The only way you can get it, it has to be a blood contact thing. It is blood-only transferred. And with that, that's why they said it had to be through surgery when they give me the blood, and it had not been checked yet. And I live in it. I don't live in a big city like New York or Chicago. I used to live in Chicago area, but I don't. I moved down south, so I don't live in a big area. So it may not have caught up here, like they were doing in the big cities then. So we don't know, but I just know that they didn't know a whole lot about it. So I had to go. I had to go home and tell my entire family they had to be checked. My husband had to be checked at the time. my babies. I was pregnant. So when I had, they checked him when he was born because they didn't know if I was a carrier and my son would have it when he was born. They didn't know. And thank God he didn't. And then I got pregnant and, not too long after I had that one. And because they're only 13 months apart and he had to be checked. I mean, it was something back then. I mean, it ain't like it is now. Now it's nationwide. You can talk about it. Everybody talks about it.
Yeah.
Back then it was like, you didn't want to tell anybody. You got to go get checked because I have this.
Right.
It was like a plague, So I didn't tell anybody back then I had it because you just didn't. Nobody would have come around you. My family would have shunned us from the moon and back. So even my cousins and stuff didn't know about it. We kept it to ourselves. But eventually we told them. Understory opinions vary. Thank you, Paint It Black. I mean, I'm just telling you what I've been through and what I've had to deal with in my life, and it's all the truth. I mean, I got documented proof, but it's just I don't like to see anybody sick, and if I can help somebody through something, even just talking about it helps people. It helped me. Somebody who cared enough to talk about it, or who cared enough to say, I wish you well, or light a candle for you, anything to help somebody is how I am. That's just who I am. I've been that way all my life.
Oh, okay. And okay, so Mary, does eating seafood cause you? No, you can't. Even if you because you're not coming in contact with blood, but even if you can't, food that's contaminated and won't give it to you. That I know because I worked in the food service.
What are you talking about for hepatitis?
Yeah, Sandra asked
No,
Mary, eating seafood cause you to have Hep C, and I said no, actually, none of them, because I think it's B or C you can't get from contaminated food.
It's A. A is from A is what you can get working in anywhere that has food, or it's because they don't if they don't clean something right or something like that, and something. I don't know exactly about the A, but I do know that it's more prominent in restaurants. And yes, if somebody catches it, it is very highly contagious to the person around them. A is very contagious. I had to learn about all these when I found out I had it. Believe me, I did some research. Hepatitis B is mainly it's blood, and I want to say sex. It is through sex too. Um, uh, bodily fluids. I'll put it to you like that for B. C is blood only. Only way you can catch C is through blood contact. If you have a cut on your finger and somebody bleeds on it and they have it, chances are you could get it. You have a pretty good chance to get it, but if you don't touch their blood or anything like that, you're not going to get it. I mean, you could kiss them, you're not going to get it. You can drink after them, you're not going to get it. Unless they bled on whatever it is, like their straw or whatever, But I didn't let my kids eat and drink after me just for precaution's sake. The doctor said it would be fine, when they were little. And, they were prone to grab your cup and drink out of it. I was very good about keeping my stuff picked up where they couldn't get it. But once in a while, they'd take a drink, whatever. But I didn't worry about it because I knew that chances were, there wasn't nothing on it. So, but I now, when you go past the C, I don't know about D. I think D can be, I think it can be fatal if I remember right, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But A is the one that is very, very highly contagious. I'm trying to catch up on chat. Uh,
Well, like I said, Sandra, I worked in the food service and they had a lot of, you had to learn a lot about,
right.
what food can transfer, in order to get your license. And CMB, I don't think it's possible, but um,
No. I know, Carl. You've been through hell.
oh, I'm sure he got it, Sandra, but and
Even
the
when,
doctors at the time, I don't know what time, like Mary said, sometimes they, depending on what year, they might have not known about it and they might have told them that, we don't know, because they might have not known what caused it and like, oh yeah, Steve, you know, but we don't know what it told them. But
I did extensive research on hepatitis C, and I have never run across anything that says seafood had anything to do with it. It has all been blood contact only. Now, I'm not an encyclopedia. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just telling you, I've been through it, and I know exactly what they told me. That the only way to get us through blood contact, unless somebody bled on that seafood, which is a possibility, you never know. But if it went through being cooked before they got it, chances are that it didn't come from seafood.
right.
There's about a 99.9% chance it didn't come from that. I'd say
Like
100% my thoughts, but
it was like 15 years ago. So yeah, where he was living, who knows if the doctor didn't know
yeah,
about it and just gave him some random answer like,
they,
"Oh,
they,
must be the fish you ate yesterday," something like that. Sometimes doctors, they don't know it all. And like my daughter's been going through test after test after they told her she's had everything. Now, this last time they told her, oh, 98% chance you have lupus. Every time she goes, something different. So I said, no, you better really check. Don't take any medicines and stuff before, you go to a few doctors and they all tell you the same thing. And don't tell them what the other doctor said.
right. And I mean, it could be. I mean, did he have A too? Was he sick when he went in, and maybe he had A on top of C. I mean, you can have that.
Oh, you could
You
have multiple ones.
you
Yeah.
actually can have all three, or you can have all of them for that matter. But you can catch it just because you got one. Don't mean you can't get the other.
Right.
You just get them in different ways. A is, I believe, airborne and uh, surface borne, and C is blood only. B is through bodily fluid and sex and sharing needles and all that like that. And C can be through sharing needles too, because of blood, and very, very slim chance through sex. Very slim, and it's because, I ain't gonna go into detail on that. Y'all are smart enough to figure that out. And then by transfusion or being stuck by a needle. So, but transfusions nowadays, catching it through that, they just don't happen. You'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
Oh, hmm I was just going to say to Carl, now they stopped. They used to teach CPR, but now they give you this special mask to put over you, like it's like a weird like suction cup thing, because they know now you can get, different things from doing CPR. So they if you're certified in CPR, they give you this, like, it's like a suction thing that you put over so you could breathe into them, but without actually touching their mouths. And you would do the chest compressions and everything. And they even teach you how to do it with only the chest compressions because, like there was this little girl, she passed out on the street. This guy, I'll never forget, poor thing. This guy, this 9-year-old passed out on the street, girl, and this guy ran and gave her CPR. She had AIDS. She's born with it because her mother had it, and then he got it. Yeah, and he died. So, you know, but yeah, you got to protect yourself when you're doing those things too. You
Well,
gotta.
before they come out with the suction thing where you don't have to
Yeah.
breathe
Well,
in.
they didn't know. Like it was just recently they said no, don't do it.
Well, what I'm saying is before they come out with the thing that they use now that gives them the air and all that, they
Yeah.
still had a shield. They come out with the shield that you put over their mouth that you could breathe, to protect yourself from. Now they hadn't had it out very long before they come out with this other thing.
Right.
I know this because I took CPR and had the little small shield thing. Matter of fact, I had one in my glove box in my car, so I always had one with me because I've actually saved a couple of people on the side of the road before.
Yeah, you did that back in '95. Yeah, there was none of that. Because even I was working at an office. They taught us in 1999. Yeah, 99 it was. My daughter was 1. And then when I took the class there, they still didn't have mouth shield. 99, so it was more recent they came out with all that.
Yeah, because they didn't have mouth shields back then. They didn't have the mouth shields to the 2000s.
Oh,
What
yeah,
I'm
definitely.
talking about, because they didn't even have it back when I first started. When I first started in the and had to take CPR for classes, um, they didn't have it then, and that was 2008. So they didn't come out with that shield thing. I think till like 2000 and I don't know. I want to say 2000, somewhere between 10 and 15, somewhere in there. But and then they come out with this new thing now that you can use, which I think is phenomenal. Everybody already have one. I think
yeah,
everybody agree with them.
whatever you have, Carl. Yeah, on you at the time. If that's what you got, then yeah, sure.
Got to do what you got to do. I
You
mean,
gotta do what you got because you gotta protect yourself.
right?
Even if you just do the chest compressions until the paramedics get there, that's more. You can't endanger yourself. I only gave my dad mouth. Well, yeah, of course. Well, your dad, your family, you kind of know if they have something or not, so you feel safer. I know my son doesn't have any saran wrap. Sure, I know my
Well,
son doesn't have anything. If I walked in his room and he needed CPR, I would give it to him.
right. I mean,
And even if he did have something, my son, I don't give a crap. Like it is what it is.
chances. I took that chance twice. No mouth cover. I worked in health care, but when you see somebody who needs you and you know what can be done, it's instinctively, you automatically do it. You don't think about what can happen to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't anyway. I don't know about anybody else, but it's so quick, you don't have time to think about it. All you know is trying to save that person's life. Been there a few times actually, more than I care to think about.
Well, Mary, you know I love you, but about 10 o'clock I gotta go because, I have to start my new
Yeah.
job. I want to go to sleep early.
We've just done what, an hour and a half on yours, and I've done 2:10 on mine. So I'm about ready to call it anyway. I hate to say that for everybody, but he chewing tobacco. That was my issue was with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I'm with you on that one. So I totally understand that. But I'm like you. It been your dad is your dad. You're gonna do it regardless of what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Do what you got to do for the loved ones you have. I would. I'd lay my life down for them. My sons, most especially. The
Yeah.
others, I'd have to think about it a second or two. Maybe just a second or two, but I'd have to think about it a second or two. My sons, there would be no question.
Right.
If it was me or them, they could have me. I love my kids.
Yeah.
Did it save him, Carl?
Some of those things you gotta do.
Or some things I mean, yeah. I if I'd have had it, I'd have done it too.
Oh, uh, Mary. Oh, Mary,
But
can you do it? Can you throw my link in the actual your chat?
the link is in my description on this live.
Oh, okay.
Our link is there, and so is Misty's. I can put it in chat if you prefer. You get it that way. Hang on, I'll get it for you. Yeah, I don't have no problem putting your link in. I'll put it in the description already.
Yeah.
I just gotta get to it, so hang on. Let's see.
Got him to the hospital. Oh, good, Carl. See, and it's good you knew to do that because I wouldn't have known to do that. I don't know what I would have did. So God's angels come in all different ways, even. Because to him, I'm sure you were an angel. Thank you, Tina, so much.
I go over here and get it. She's already done it. Little turd.
Yeah, that's my channel, guys. I do cooking, I do crafting, I do paranormal, spiritual learnings. We're doing, I do stories, historical stuff, all sorts of stuff. So you're welcome to come by. I would love to have any of you on Wednesdays. I usually do card readings. So if you're interested in, of course, any kind of divination, it's not only card readings. I have chips, charms, astrology, all sorts of stuff. So
She has a really good channel, y'all. You need to check her out.
hello, sleepyhead. Welcome in.
Hi, sleepyhead.
Sorry, because we're just about heading out. But thank you so much for coming in. I hope to see you again.
There's been some different people in tonight. I appreciate y'all being here.
Yes.
Carl, you can hit us on Messenger anytime you want.
Oh, thank you, Sandra.
Sandra, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Shire, always a pleasure. Joke around all you want. You know that. Tammy, good to see you too. Always is. Glad you're out doing investigations and stuff. Kim, thank you for being here. Tina, you know I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're part of my family. And let's see, I miss anybody? Anybody's over at Christina's?
Well, Christy's probably listening. Christine's probably listening. Diane's probably listening. Thank you all for coming in.
All right. Anybody and everybody that was on our channels, thank you for being here. How's that?
Thank you so much. Yes, Painted Black, Eric, everybody. It was lovely talking to you all and meeting you all.
When do we go? When do you go live again? Or when do you have something again? Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
Okay, y'all see her on Wednesday. She does her card readings on Wednesday. Are we doing a video Wednesday? I thought we're doing it Thursday, right?
No, I'm gonna let you know. Because this week is a weird week. This week, guys, is my first week of my new job. And for the first week, I have to be in the office from 1 to 5 doing training. But then after that, my normally scheduled days off are Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday, I'll do my live stream with my cards. And Thursday, Mary and I will do spiritual learnings. But this week is odd because I'm doing 1 to 5 at the office. So we could go Thursday, but it would be later, like 7 my time.
If she starts right away.
And which would be like 6 your time, which wouldn't be so bad.
Right.
We will let you guys know. Definitely, we'll put up a.
It doesn't matter to me which day we do it. I'm open, so it'd be Thursday or Sunday. You see us. So if you like our channels and you want to be there, that's the days we'll be on. And plus Wednesday should be on Wednesday, and I'll be there in chat. So as long as I feel all right, I'll be there too. So. But anyway, we appreciate y'all being here, and we'll see you this week sometime.
Yep. Thank you so much, guys.
Stay good and stay out of trouble, and keep your health well. And we love y'all. Bye.